All right, what's up, guys? It's Gootecks, and I'm here with Lap Chi from Canada Cup, and we were talking about a lot of the promotional aspects that are going into this year's Canada Cup, as well as some of Lap Chi's background in sales. And Lap Chi, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you were telling me about one of the biggest keys to your success has been?
Well, definitely the number one key to my success came from sales. Early days of learning to sell, I went through a lot of types of sales, from like selling tuxedos, selling the cell phones, telephones, satellites. I even did telemarketing and corporate sales, going to corporations and pitching to like 50 people about my product. And after gaining all that experience, it opens doors to like some really big type of money that's involved.
So when you were able to build up your in-person sales techniques, which obviously there's like volumes and volumes written about how to sell anything, because the process is basically like the same kind of, right? Like, but it's something that you have to learn over time. You're saying that you were able to translate after building up your sales skills, you were then able to transfer that to doing real estate?
Yeah, that's right. So after learning so many types of sales skills, and then in sales you have to get a feel for the person you're selling to. You can't flow chart it. You can't be a robot and pitch the exact same pitch every single time to try to close a deal. It's what I learned is sales is about the person. When you understand the person, you hit certain buttons to get them to say yes. And in real estate, you have to learn that fast, because you could get shut down very fast or say the wrong thing. And you have to make sure that you can't say the wrong thing, and you have to pitch perfectly. And sometimes you have to make sure they feel like you're not trying to sell them. And that is key sometimes.
Okay, so you would say that you've specialized a lot in one-on-one sales. Now, when in your experience, I'm sure through doing cell phones and satellites and stuff, would you ever keep track of how many people came in that day?
Yes. I like to kind of think about, like, by the end of the day, the person that came in and the person that left. The person that I couldn't sell to, and then there's tire kickers and stuff like that. There's not a whole lot you can do about it. But in my mind, I calculate my sales percentage all the time.
Right.
And I calculate in my head. And
so give me an example of like a typical day selling cell phones. Like, how many people came in and how many plans or cell phones did you sell?
So let's say a whole entire day, there's 15 people on average day came in. Some would buy like cell phone accessories. Some would buy, the cell phone was signed on a contract. Some would just come in and ask questions. And everyone is different. So some people come in and be tire kickers, and you wonder, okay, I got nothing else better to do. I put a challenge up for myself too. I'm not letting this guy leave this store without something. And realistically, I play a game, and I try to figure out what you want. You cannot be aggressive. You have to go in slow. Some you have to be crazy aggressive, and some of them, everyone has just a different style. So I would just, through my experience, test certain things without offending the client, and then go harder in that area. Some people want to talk slow. You have to start talking slow, and some people want to talk fast. They want to get out of there quick. You got to know what they want, and then you have to ask the right question. And sometimes I don't even know how to explain what type of questions to ask. It's really through experience. When you did so many different types of sales, you see all sorts of people, and you start categorizing people in this person should be sold passively, and this person should be sold aggressively, and that's how I would try to pitch them, and hopefully they would sell. And some people, you have to make them feel like you're not selling a product. You're just being the friend. You're just hanging out. Come hang out at my shop. We're going to talk. You're going to feel like you're a VIP. And sometimes that's how I get a sale. And at the end of the day, I would sit and calculate that was the best approach. And when I see that type of category that walks into that door again, when they walk out and they don't buy anything or they don't come back, I knew I did something wrong. And you have to really learn from your mistakes, and that's what I did. And in order to increase your sales percentage, you have to just realize what you did wrong, why they left, and you really have to think about it. And sometimes I get upset. I'd be like, I just lost a customer. I had to figure out why. And if you learn to like adapt to it, eventually when you see that customer come in, exact same mentality, you'll be able to get the sale next time.
So, of those 15 people, let's say, that would come in on an average day, when you look back at the end of the day to see how many of them converted into sales, I mean, how many are we talking here? Like 3, 4, 5, 10, all of them?
I'm a higher percentage. I think during that time I was doing it probably 65%.
Cool. So out of 15 people, you're selling at least 8 cell phones.
Yes.
Okay. So now, what if I told you that there was that I could show you a way where you could sell to way more people without having to do anything once the sales material was created, and it would keep track of not only how many people came to hear your pitch, but it would also keep track of how many people converted and bought the product, as well as how many people didn't, as well as a way to get their information so that you could follow up with them later, because even if they didn't buy it, maybe they didn't buy today, the tire kickers come in, at some point they're going to buy a cell phone, maybe they're going to buy the cell phone tomorrow, next week, or whatever, so that you could set up an automatic system of contacting them down the line.
Okay, so that's almost like an automatic
sales funnel.
Okay. I mean, that's interesting.
So that instead of selling to one person at a time, you're selling to any number of people at a time automatically without you having to do anything once the material was already created.
I mean, it's great. I mean, I like the idea. It would have to be teaching somebody to sell a product that's not personal. Like real estate would be a lot more difficult to...
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking, basically what I'm saying is that this is how products on the internet are sold. Whether it's a digital product like a film or a movie or a pay-per-view live stream, or, maybe it was something like a cell phone, like a physical thing. Probably not something, of super, super, super ridiculously high prices like real estate, but what you would lose in transaction size, you would make up for in volume. So instead of selling one house for $500,000, maybe you would sell 500,000 things for $1 or something. So the transaction size is definitely going to be different, because people obviously are not. People just don't do large transactions like that on the internet yet.
Yes, that's right.
But small transactions, anything under $100, like this shit, it's all the same.
Yeah, that's right.
So basically what I'm getting at is that when it comes to online sales, you have the advantage of it being high leverage, because once it's already made, somebody can go to your site and buy your product, whether or not you're physically there selling to them. So okay, here, this is a good place to pause.